In a land where cacti outnumber cell towers and the horizon stretches further than a fiber optic cable, it's time for Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter, the podcast that looks a bit behind the scenes of a broadband provider, takes a big bite out of the tech world, and serves up a healthy dose of banter with people in our community. And now, without further ado, here's your host, Bob Dahlstrom.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter, the podcast I do with my partner in crime, Ralph Score. I'm your co-host, Bob Dahlstrom. Ralph, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I think all the gremlins are gone.
You've got them. Ralph's been working on, as you guys know, this is season 2 of our podcast, as we're calling it. And so you can still download our podcast, like, subscribe, share, wherever you get your podcast. So go to YouTube, search Valley Telecom Group, find our podcast playlist. And even last year, I say last year, even the first season of all, and they're awesome guests. I would highly recommend listening to them.
Oh, yeah.
But they're on there as well. And, of course, we have no shortage of awesome guests. We have another one today. We'll introduce to you shortly.
Bring him in a little bit here. So
yeah, but Ralph's been working out the gremlins in the system, obviously. You know how that goes when you get electronics involved, right?
Stamping out fires, baby.
Yeah,
Let me tell
Ralph's
you
been busy man.
We know all about technical fires in this company.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are different than others, that's all.
That's true. Yeah. That is very true. But Ralph got it all figured out. We're ready to rock and roll.
Yep. And we're planning on some fun today. So,
yeah. We're going to talk about some good stuff and more about the company and other things going on. So,
And because, Shane, we're involved with fiber optics and that, and we do internet and that, so I thought it'd be interesting to pull up some of the telecommunication industry's acronyms, right? And we're pretty famous for our alphabet soup.
Oh, man.
That we use all the time.
There is a whole glossary. Literally, there's a book, a glossary of acronyms.
And some of these you're going to know.
And other words.
Yeah, some of these you're going to know. You've heard them before, but some of these you may not have heard of before. And I'm going to start with the most obscure one that I've got, which is CAPEX and OPEX. Right, I've never heard anybody talk about that, but they make sense. They're capital expenditures and operational expenditures, right? And capex being the upfront cost. You got to buy equipment, right?
That's accounting.
That's accounting.
That's finance.
Yeah, but then
that's the dark side.
That is the wizards over there in the cave that crunch the numbers. Magic.
It's so nice that our CEO came over from the dark side.
That's right.
So the next one is CO. We talk about the CO all the time, and people go, well, what the heck is that? And it's central office, which doesn't, it's not what it sounds like, right? The central office is the physical building used to house equipment that connects the lines to the network.
Right.
So, but most people think CO. Oh, my commanding officer. Oh, the CO.
Right.
Central office. You think that? That's your headquarters where I pay my bill. The central office. Right. So,
and there's a CO in every community because that's where the hub where the communications come in and go out throughout the community.
Exactly.
So we have a lot of COs.
So you'll find a big one in other places and a small one in some. And some of them you'll find a really old sign on it, like this,
like our old school logo.
Portal's on the
see our old school logo right there. Show everybody that they haven't seen that before. That's what our original logo was for our company.
We call it the sailboat.
We used to have that on our shirts.
Proudly displayed that. I mean that is. It's hard to find anything with this logo on it anymore. That was back in the day.
So our next one is SIP, which stands for Session Initiation Protocol. Now, I've never heard that term before. Shane, have you heard that?
Yep.
That term?
It's definitely not in my realm in the outside plant as much, but I definitely heard it on the installation and the network side because that's more, it's your business systems and stuff like that.
Yeah, it says it's the language used to signal and control multimedia communication sessions is what it is, right?
Yeah, we deal with SIP a lot.
Yeah. So the next one we've got is LTE, right? People have heard the term LTE, right? It's really a standard for high-speed wireless communications, right? It really has to do with cell service.
Cell service, for sure.
Correct.
Then we've got LAN and WAN. I think everybody's heard those terms. One is a local area network, like if you've got a network hooked up in your house or within an office. And
correct.
And WAN is really, it's over a large geographical area.
Yeah, so a wide area network.
Yep.
So you might consider what we have basically is a multi-tiered WAN.
If you can get all our companies, all our offices,
if you tie it all
together,
right?
Right. Yeah.
That would be.
Another one is called PSTN, which is Public Switch Telephone Network. And think of this as old school, right?
It is.
This is old school, which is traditional telephone systems, landlines, and it's been in use since the 1800s, right? So we're talking really old school, right? Almost as old as the coffee can and the string. I think
What?
sometimes I think we need to have that coffee can and the string back, at least in the office.
Easier.
Yeah.
The technology was so much easier back then.
But just think, you could just go ahead and cut someone's connection.
Then just yell louder.
just yell louder, please.
And then we have 5G, right? And 5G is 5th generation, and that once again deals with the latest standard for broadband. But sometimes people get it confused because in our business we have a 5G as well, which is the connection for the frequency that things run on.
We talk about gigahertz.
Yeah, gigahertz.
Right.
So when you look at your router, you have a 2.4 gigahertz connection and a 5 gigahertz connection. So, but a lot of people get confused. They think, well, 5G,
I'm getting 5G.
I'm getting 5G at home,
That's not at all
and
what
they don't
that means.
understand. It's,
But that's
like
the confusion of
well,
it. Yeah.
if you live in Pierce, you're not getting 5G.
All that
you
means
might be
is you have
getting
5th generation other service.
You might be getting
That's all it
3G
means.
LTE.
Yeah.
So right.
But they make it
best.
sound impressive
Yeah.
when they say it, right? In their ads. The fastest 5G service. Well, all that means is it's a 5th generation equipment that can provide you faster service. It doesn't mean you're getting 5 gig.
Right.
No.
Exactly. And the next thing you've got is VoIP, right? We've heard that term. That's voice over internet protocol. And if you're connecting your cell phone at home to your router, you're essentially using VoIP to do your voice
That's
communication.
internet protocol.
That's right.
That's correct.
That's right. And then ISP. Right, that's very simple. It's an internet service provider. We are your ISP if you're a customer of ours, right?
Yes.
And if we're not yours, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. and because
Consider becoming a customer of Valley.
and that's because we are the next thing. We are FTTH. We are fiber to the or FTTP, fiber to the premises, or fiber to the home, and that
Language.
This is really, it is the gold standard for high-speed internet. That's what they refer to it. It's offering the highest bandwidth and reliability compared to any other system that is out there.
Which leads right into our show today.
It does. Right?
Talking about FTTP or FTTH.
It definitely
we're talking
does.
about what we're going to talk about with our special guest today and some other things as well. Ralph, that's a lot of information right there, and that's just scratching the surface on acronyms. And guys, we'll give you a chance to write those down real quick and study those and learn them. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back,
there will be a test at the end of the show.
Yes, be ready with your pen and paper. We'll be right back with our special guest. Stick around.
Hey, are you playing Fortnite?
Yeah.
Let's go, man. I'm gonna beat you so bad.
You know I could go pro if I wanted to. You do not stand a chance. Besides, we always just play against each other.
Yeah, that's true.
We need to find more people to play with.
Hey, Valley Telecom has the Fiber Gaming Network, an online community where we can compete in tournaments and win real prizes, or just meet new gamers and participate in casual game nights.
Whoa, that's so cool. But how much does it cost?
It's actually free. Valley Telecom is providing this to their community at no charge. We just go to vtc.net/gaming and sign up.
Wow, that's so awesome. Now I can show everyone I'm the best.
Get in the game with a fiber gaming network powered by Valley Telecom. Go to vtc.net/gaming to sign up today.
Welcome back to Valley's Bits, Bites, and Banter. I'm your co-host, Bob Dahlstrom, along with my partner in crime, Ralph Score. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have an idea for a guest you'd like us to feature, you have questions you'd like us to address, topics to talk about, we're open to that. Give us an email at podcast@teamvtg.net, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll give you a shout-out on the show. And once more to remind everybody, this year we're adding video to our podcast. We're very excited about that, so I'm looking right at you, everybody there. How you doing? If you want to watch our video podcast, that means you're on our YouTube station. You're on our YouTube channel. Even if you're not, go to our YouTube channel, search Valley Telecom Group, and find our podcast playlist. And off you go with all of our special guests that we have there. And we have another one today, and we know our special guest very well because we're coworkers. We work with Shane, and just so you guys don't know, Yeah, he oversees all aspects of engineering and construction for our company for network expansion, which we have a lot going on, and modernization. He's our director of operations, ladies and gentlemen. It's Shane Thompson.
Wow.
Shane, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I need to find out who recommended me as being a guest in the show, though. Or unless you guys thought this up. I want to have a conversation with me.
You're like, I don't know.
I think,
Why didn't you tell me about that?
I think that was me.
So you can
the guy at the end of the table.
address your concerns directly.
And
Shane,
that's why he's sitting so far down.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm the buffer in the middle.
You're in the
Yes,
middle.
thank
You're
you.
the middle guy, Bob.
I've got
So you're gonna
lots of stuff in the way
take
here.
the
You know,
heat.
it's my own firewall is over here.
Yeah, I will take the heat, Shane. But yes, thank you for being a guest on our show. And I know this is not something you would normally do, so I appreciate it. But it's good to talk to. We like to have employees on too and other people in the company because I think it's fascinating. Because many people don't know. They understand, okay, it's internet. I understand it brings connections to me, communications to me, but they don't really understand what it takes to make that happen and the different departments. And we're talking about from whether you're buying the hardware, whether you're getting permits acquired, whether you're getting all the funding lined out. Whether it's so many steps to make it happen, and you are. Well, as we saw, you oversee all aspects of the engineering side of it and making our network expansion happen, the construction side and all that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of people and a lot of involvement. It's not only just because we don't have that many employees. Myself and then in the engineering group, I have 5 people in there.
Right.
And then, so when it comes to designing these projects, we gotta get some help. Sometimes we have bring in some engineering firms that specialize in certain aspects of these projects and. Well, they kind of help us along the road because we just don't have the personnel, especially since we're taking care of everything day to day also, along with these big, expansion projects as they come up.
Well, and that's another thing to consider, right? I mean, people look at it, it's like, well, these are small rural communities, but it is a massive undertaking to bring fiber to a community. For example, let's talk about one we've done, Columbus. Let's talk about Columbus, New Mexico. It's one of our ILEC exchanges, and that ILEC is another acronym.
An incumbent local exchange.
Yep, which means we're the first carrier, we're the first communications carrier in the community to bring service to them. We're the incumbent. And they're also one of our cooperative members, that community. So, and they recently got fiber, and you think, oh, Columbus, New Mexico, that's a nice community. It's our biggest exchange, I think, in our cooperative area. In New Mexico, for sure.
For sure, in New Mexico, yeah.
How many miles estimated of fiber did we have to put in to bring fiber to every home in that area?
Mainline fiber we placed in Columbus, it was right about 70 miles.
Yeah.
And that's urban-ish type build. I mean, it's not completely like urban like Tucson or anything, but yeah, in a small community like that. But it was fiber to the home on, small runs. I mean, I think there was like 500 and some homes in the village of Columbus. So but we still placed 60 miles of mainline fiber. When I say mainline, that's the actual backbone that feeds the drops to the house.
Yeah, it carries all the connection services down the fiber to each home, and and it's also one of the communities. We don't have a lot of communities in a rural area that are that organized. They're all together. There's streets, right? It's like a grid.
Yeah.
Where many rural communities are not necessarily lined out like that. So there's even more involved in that. More fiber, more miles. And we'll run into some of those communities too. We already have, and we're going to do more of that as we go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of these rural developed areas. I mean, we're running quarter mile between homes or more to get to them. So you have to still build that main line and then do the drop to the house. So it's quite extensive builds on a lot of these.
And it feels like we've been at this a while. For the expansion and the overbuild, as we call it.
Yep.
Because we're upgrading any of our communities we can from DSL on the traditional copper cable, because it has limitations. The technology was great for its time,
right?
But it had limitations.
Absolutely, it has limitations, and I mean, and age is out too.
Yes.
It fails over time. It's copper, and it will deteriorate, and that's where we're kind of come to the end of the life. I guess if you want to call it, and there's another acronym too.
Probably. I like it. EOL.
Yeah, yep. End of life. But we're coming to the end of life of that copper plant, and our customers been gracious, in keeping our service as long as they had. So it's time for us to upgrade and get them something that's going to bring them into the future because, 5 to 10 meg over copper is nothing compared to what they're going to get with fiber, starting at 100 meg at the house at the beginning package.
Yeah, and talking about, and this is one of the reasons we call fiber future-proof. You look back, you compare it to copper. One of the restrictions copper has on it is it has resistance. So you can only push a quality internet signal, even phone, so far,
right,
without degradation of the service.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the biggest thing with copper plant is the distance. So you either have to place a lot more equipment in electronics, which gets super expensive.
Yeah.
And, then your quality's still not there compared to what fiber can do in the distance it can travel without losing that quality of service.
Versus fiber, when you put it in the ground. And what is fiber? What is a fiber? I look at it, what is it made of?
Fiber is exactly what a lot of people think it is glass. And that is right. It's not plastic. The fiber we're using, there are plastic fibers, but the fiber we're using is glass, and 95% of our plant is single mode fiber. I mean, there is some multi-mode in some of the business systems and stuff like that, but to the fiber, the home product is single mode fiber. So all that light is what's bringing your service, and it's light transmitting in an 8 to 9 micron core that's in that fiber. So I'm going to get a little geeky here, I guess, but
please go right ahead.
The actual fiber is a 250 micron fiber. So basically, with the coating, the color, so we can identify it on the outside, it's 250 micron, just slightly larger than a normal human hair.
Right.
So you take that coating off of it, then you get down to 125 micron. That's the actual piece of glass. And then on the inside of that, so we're not using the entire piece of glass, there's a core that's 8 to 9 microns. And we're already talking about the hair size. Now we're talking about the 8 to 9 microns is what's transmitting the light, and that's
which is a fraction of that hair.
Right.
So Shane, that additional fiber that's around, is that kind of like an insulator for that in a way?
Yeah, basically it's an insulator, and it's all part of the process of how it's built too. You're going to have wasted area, and to get to that fine, pure core.
Right. My understand too is that the light that's pushed is basically a pulse from a laser, different frequencies of lasers.
That's exactly right. It's coming through lasers. You got your light LEDs, and then you got actual lasers.
Right.
And most of this stuff is actual lasers, so it could be harmful to your eyes and stuff. So
sure.
Don't ever go looking.
Don't look at it. It's like a laser. It's like when people point a laser pointer, a little bit more powerful. So,
correct.
So let me ask you this: is this correct? In other words, the higher the frequency, the more data. Is that how that works as far as the pulse?
Well, you're getting a little out of my element. I'm not necessarily the network guy, but
we're really getting technical now.
I used to do laser shows a long time ago. Yeah. There was no pulse. There was like burning trees and stuff like
that. Exactly. Yeah.
It's a different laser show.
Yeah.
And you're talking about that, and you are correct, because like our long haul traffic type route stuff, we're running probably more like a 1625 wavelength, where your fiber to the home network, we're running in the 1300, the 1200s to 1300, depending on the equipment you're using. So yeah, you're right, Ralph.
And so what I think boils that down to is one of the reasons it's future proof is you can push a lot of data over that a very long distance. Without any loss.
Yeah, and it all comes down to, the same glass that we're taking to the house, maybe a fiber drop, is basically the same glass that's in our long haul routes.
Yeah.
That's going miles in between regions. I think our long haul, we're probably 70 miles, 80 miles in some of those between regen huts, and it's the equipment you put on the end. So it's your laser and the equipment that's pushing that frequency out there that limits you to what you're serving.
Which is really incredible when you think about the technology change. The leap from DSL and copper to fiber is incredible, and what we're able to bring to our communities now.
Yeah,
because so many people rely on the internet for everything.
And this all happened in about 20 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, because I don't want to date myself, but when I first started here, everything was copper for the most part.
Yeah,
we had a little bit of fiber tying the COs together and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then we kind of gradually went into feeding all our cabinets or remote cabinets out there with fiber, so we could get better DSL services later on. But, there was a time that we're like, why would somebody need a T1 their business.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, they must be doing something crazy over there.
I remember having a
right.
14 kbps
what?
fax modem, you know. And,
why would you need that?
you know,
We're like,
well,
special circuit.
I remember getting DSL going, wow.
Well, it's grown so much exponentially over. In fact, I saw something today I was going to bring up earlier that it says over 90% of the world's data. Think about that. Over 90% of the world's data has been created in just the last 2 years. And the internet's been around a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
And how much of that data, but over 90% of it has been created in just the last 2 years because of technology being available, the changes, more available to everybody, accessible to everybody. And so you need something that can keep up with that, which is what the fiber does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is awesome. And I know we're working on a bunch of different projects, and two of the ones we have working on this year is what I wanted to hit on real quick. First of all, Bryce, Eden, and Fort Thomas. Those are three very rural communities that we've never served before.
Correct.
That we're bringing fiber to, and we're very excited about it on our side and being able to talk to everybody about that. How are those projects coming along?
Yeah, they always take longer than we want them to get everything going because there is a lot of legwork, and then we find little hurdles here and there with permitting or something like that.
Right of ways.
Yeah, right of
like
ways. Different land agencies and stuff like that. We have to go through the processes, and some of those processes can be a little drug out. But we're worked through that, and right now we're getting pretty close in those areas. We actually got the contractors moving equipment in over there in the Bryce Eden area right now. They're staging up equipment and taking materials over, and we're actually going to start construction. I mean, actually breaking some ground on the 27th.
Really?
So,
man,
yeah, we were
right around the corner,
making progress.
That's awesome.
So that's the whole goal is to get everything to that point when they actually start breaking ground. You know, you're actually almost somewhere.
Yeah. That's a big step. That's a big milestone.
Yeah, exactly.
For us, not just everybody else that sees it, but for us, that's a big milestone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we're able to break ground finally.
Finally.
All those ducks in a row.
Right.
And I know that we have some events we're planning in the summer that we're going to do out in those communities. Go talk to everybody about the service that's coming. We're very excited about that. That's one of the projects I know that has moved up high in the priority list because the funding came through. And that's the other thing, right? You get some of these are funding that's provided to help subsidize the cost because, I mean, for example, Columbus, over 50 miles of fiber, that's got quite a bit of cost to it. And for a company our size, we could do that over time. But if we want it done in a much shorter time, we need a little help, and there are funds out there to help with that. And I know that's part of it. You got to have to make sure those funds are in place. A lot of it's matching. Don't bore anybody with that. But that can be one of the things that holds up a project, and then why projects shuffle. Like one jumps to the top of the priority pile, which is like Bryce Eden and Fort Thomas.
Exactly. Yeah, getting that funding in place and being able to pay for itself too makes a huge difference.
Right. Yeah. And the reason I mention that too is because one of the projects that it's coming, and we've been itching to get to it and do it, but these are a lot of the reasons why it hasn't yet. But it is later this year is Duncan and Duncan York area bringing fiber to those people there. Right. That's another project we're working on this year. And you guys have been working on diligently for a while.
Yeah, it's been a long drawn out process on Duncan. That's one of those ones that has a lot of different land agencies and stuff that we have to deal with, and it causes a lot of different processes we have to go through design wise and everything, and then consideration along with that of how we're going to go about it. Will the different agencies we're dealing with agree with those decisions? So it takes a lot longer.
It does, and I know one of the things that we're excited about too that is going to help mitigate that. We're still bringing the fiber; that's still coming later this year. But the new fixed wireless technology that we're going to be introducing to Duncan here very, very, very soon. Is exciting, and that is something that's gonna really help also fill in a lot of those areas where it may be hard to get fiber to.
Right. Yeah. And no matter what, and let's just be clear with the wireless stuff. Wireless is just kind of a temporary.
Yeah.
Even as good as this new Toronto wireless is, it's still never going to keep up with the advances and the abilities of fiber later on.
Correct.
But right now, Toronto is looking really good. We can provide people some really good service in the meantime. Until we get that fiber in place in those space, especially areas like Duncan and York Valley and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing ever is going to top. The ultimate is a hardwired fiber connection to your house.
Yeah,
That is the ultimate connection. Nothing will beat that.
Right.
But this is a nice step in that direction to fill and bring those next leap in speeds to customers.
Absolutely.
Out in those areas. So we've been talking technical. We've been, some people may have been glassing over. Hopefully not. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. When we come back from this break, we'll take a short break. We're going to get a little more personal with Shane. Talk about some of the things he likes to do in his spare time. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The endless options for streaming movies, shows, and sports can be overwhelming. Valley Telecom is here to help with Stream Now, your ultimate online reference for all things streaming. Whether you're a binge watcher or just looking for a quick episode to enjoy, we've got you covered. Discover recommendations, compare platforms, and find the best content for your favorite streaming devices. Stream Now makes it simple to get the most out of your streaming experience. Enjoy the journey of discovering your next favorite show, movie, or live event all in one place. The best part is it's free to use. Unlock the door to endless viewing possibilities by going to gostreamnow.com/VTC today.
And today's episode, we're talking with Valley Telecom Director of Operations, Shane Thompson. We've been talking fiber and the benefits of fiber and bringing all that. So we hit all that engineering and technical, a lot of that stuff. And I think we wrapped it up, right? There's nothing else we really need to tie off of here at the end.
If you guys feel good, I'm good.
I feel good about it. I think that was, that's one of the reasons we wanted you to come on, Shane, was to talk a little bit about, get a little more about the person who's doing this, what it's taking to bring in, get people to understand it a little more. And I get it. People want it yesterday sometimes, and sometimes we would love to give it yesterday, but you just can't.
It's never fast enough, right?
It's never fast enough because we all need it now. I mean, so many people work from home now, healthcare, school, whatever you may be doing. It's like a utility. It's like a basic need anymore because so many things work off it. But hopefully answer a lot of questions. Guys, if you do have any other questions about any of the things we talked about you want us to address, email us at podcast@teamvtg.net. But let's all talk about, you're not just all about fiber internet, and you've got other things you like to do, Shane. You're involved with the youth a lot in the community. And tell us about Southeast Arizona Expo. You've been involved with that.
Yeah. So it's just a really good group of folks that focuses on the kids. It's similar to like a county fair or something like that, but it's a more local to here in North Cochise County. We created the Wilcox Livestock Expo, and it's for those kids that want to do 4-H, FFA, and even if you're not affiliated with one of those groups, but you can still bring those kids can raise those animals and bring them and show them and have them judged, and then be able to sell that project at the end of the year.
And, we're really happy because we get to be a sponsor for that too, which is really good.
Absolutely. We try to
that's awesome.
Get involved. And what got you involved with that from the get-go?
Well, I've been involved with livestock all my life. So is my wife. I grew up doing 4-H and FFA through the years, and it just kind of developed. My kids came along. We did the same thing with them. I mean, from starting with chickens all the way through, they did the pigs, and then, of course, they all graduated up to beef, and doing that because that's kind of our forte anyhow. So
there you go.
But so they're all showing that. But now, I mean, I've got to that level that this year, after this year, I only have one kid left in school, so she'll be a sophomore in high school. So the rest
got a couple more years there.
Yeah, a couple more years there. But so. Out of my 4 kids, she's only the last one left. So we got 2 more years of her doing Expo. And that.
What does that mean for you? Will you still be involved?
We'll still be involved. I mean, my wife is the president of the Expo right now, and I'm a superintendent. So I am the beef leader. So and I kind of like it. I like
that title, the beef leader.
Yeah, that's right.
I do too.
Yeah, so the beef leader. So that's kind of my forte. I'm comfortable there. I'll stay with that. I'll work with all the kids that have cattle.
We're going to write that down on the synopsis of the episode. Director of Operations and Beef Leader.
We're going to
Thompson.
Hey,
we're going to put that into your executive title on the website.
Yeah.
Beef I would leader. Love that title. Yeah. Actually,
that's right.
Beef leader. I like that. Well, that's awesome. That's really important, right? Because we are in Arizona, in this area, we're very much an agricultural area.
Absolutely.
And not just our community, but I mean the region. there's a lot of agriculture here.
Yeah, I mean, from farming and ranching, that's kind of what the county's based off of around here.
That's right. And you're also involved in, you like to hunt.
Absolutely.
And you like to teach others about hunting. So
Yeah.
tell us about that. You're involved in volunteering with Arizona Game and Fish, right?
Yeah, my wife and I, so it's when my oldest, was about 8 years old, we were looking for, because back then you had to get your hunter education card as a youth. When you turn 10 years old, you have to have that card so you can hunt big game.
Right.
And apply for those hunts. So at that time, there wasn't anybody around here in Wilcox doing the hunter education program anymore. So she talked me into it. It's like, hey, we ought to volunteer and become, instructors. So
right.
Sure enough, we went and got our instructors' credentials and went through all the classes and everything. And so we've been doing that for about 15 years now.
Awesome.
And we've been doing classes usually twice a year here in Wilcox. We've done most of them here in the large meeting room here at Valley.
Nice.
So how many kids would you say that you helped over this time?
I'd have to guess over 500.
Wow.
Yeah, that's gone through our class. We do that class, and it's a 5-day class plus a field day on Saturday. So we do Monday through Friday and do like a 4 to, depending on how many kids it is, it's usually like a 4-hour class on a Saturday that's actually putting all the skills they learned in class to use out in the field.
Practical application. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Is there a minimum age or age range? That
Yeah,
you guys
they have
teach?
to be 8 years old to take the class, minimum. But after that, we've done adults that want to just attend and kind of learn more about it too.
Well, I remember not in Arizona, but I grew up that age. I grew up in Minnesota, and that's a big deal back then too. So I remember being that age, being like 9 or 10, taking the hunting courses, firearms safety and training, and all that were another aspect of it.
That's the biggest part of it. We call it hunter education, or the Arizona Game and Fish calls it hunter education, but the 95% of this is based off of safety.
Yeah,
it's hunter education and safety. So it's all plus that. Anybody that's been to our class, it's that tab +1, and I can ask most every one of them that they've been in our class, they can read off what tab +1 is.
Very good.
Yeah.
They should know it.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
should know it backwards and forwards.
100%.
Be safe. I mean, that's the most important thing about going out hunting, fishing, no matter what you're doing. Out in the woods and out in the outdoors is to be safe.
Absolutely.
I like it. Now, you like to hunt. Do you like to big game hunt? What do you like to hunt?
No, I like to hunt all. I mean, small game, I don't do a whole lot of small game hunting, but I still do enjoy that. But I'm more large game, deer, elk, and then.
Now you've done some bear hunting too, right? Haven't you?
I have bear hunting.
And is that bow? Do you?
I actually haven't harvested a bear or really went after any bears with my bow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's like danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah. Well, oops. Maybe. Maybe. It depends. Yeah. I think here in Arizona, especially here, I mean, your black bears and stuff, they're not that dangerous.
Yeah,
honestly.
not that big.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. We've had a couple people on our guests last year that
until
were
you
hunters.
hear him breathing over you as you're getting up in the morning.
Going through your sleeping bag.
Yeah.
We did talk to him, and I always say everybody's got a hunting story. Everybody's got one at least that they can tell. So Shane, I'm asking you right now, putting you on the spot. Never told you we're going to ask you this. Do you have a hunting story you can share with us?
Man, I mean, I got so many different stories. There's lots of stories. I guess
You can just pick one if that comes to mind that you want to share with everybody and to our listeners out there and viewers.
I don't know if there's one particular one I can actually come up with off the top of my head. I'm on the spot here.
I know. I just put you on the spot.
You've ruined me, Bob. But what I can say though is what hunting brings to me, and it's that family feeling. And then I do a lot with my friends too. But growing up, my kids growing up and taking them hunting and stuff, that's been the best thing. It's just there's just memories. I mean, I guess I could tell you the story about the hunt and everything, but it's not. You wouldn't understand it unless you're sitting there, with us and like got the feeling of the whole hunt and what we actually saw and what we experienced at that point in time. So that's what's so big to me is the memories and being there at that point in time.
Do you think there was one that was maybe more challenging than others that you've had as far as something you've gone after?
Oh, yeah, there are definitely some challenging hunts. I think the most challenging hunting I've ever done was archery antelope. So
that would be challenging.
Pronghorn, yeah. That was the toughest hunt because it happens in August. It was down here in the lower elevation, so it's hot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it'd been raining. The monsoon's been around. The grass is all about, I don't know, knee high. Because where the antelope hang out in the plains, right? Where the grass and the little grassy draws and everything. So the snakes are out like crazy. Yep. So you run into them several times. So you got to hold your wits and make sure you're not stepping on those.
And you're
too.
bow hunting.
Yep. So
make sure to clarify that. It's not like you can pull a gun out and shoot a snake. You're bow hunting.
No, so you got to be careful when you're sneaking along, crawling across through the grass, and all of a sudden you hear something slithering in front of you. You better be pretty cautious.
You better be ready.
Be ready to. Yeah, and no, I actually had a rattlesnake blow. That would be a story. I had to blow a complete stalk on an antelope. Yeah, spotted him from miles away, up on top of the hill. Relocated, started my descent down the mountain, all the way down to where these antelope are bedded in this draw.
Yeah,
get within 50 yards of them, and I come up to the last big mesquite tree that was my cover. And so as I'm sneaking up to it, I dang near step on a rattlesnake. He blows up. Whatever the rattlesnake is, blows up, just rattling like crazy. The entire group of antelope all of a sudden are just staring right at me. Yep. There's something happening right there. That rattlesnake's giving us away here. So rattlesnake blew the entire stock on that one.
Man, and the time you spend getting closer little by little.
I probably spent a couple hours getting down there.
And the antelope probably put him there.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay, you're going to be
nature's alarm.
You're going to be the watchtower for us.
I mean, threw him a couple bucks or something.
Yeah, that's right. Drop some feed by him later. Some feed for him.
And not the kind of buck you want to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
But I get that. I totally get that. A lot of times it's the experience. 'Cause I know. I remember, like I said, I went through the training courses in Minnesota and went on a lot of hunts with my dad, fishing trips, and and people ask me what's one that really sticks out, and they ask me, and it's the same answer. It's like it's more about the time you spend. Right. And the experience you spend with your family and then being out there and doing it, that's what makes it awesome. That's what makes it memorable.
Right.
So I get that. I totally get that. But thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah, no,
I assume everything was all right. You were able to get away from the rattler.
Yeah. Never been bit by a rattlesnake.
There you go. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Quick.
It's been close, but yeah.
Well, Shane, one of the things we like to do to our guests, not to our guests.
Oh, geez, I think I'm done here now.
One of the things we like to ask our guests is a question of the day. And it's an interesting question. It's not it's not a yes or no question. It's an open-ended question. You don't know what the question is going to be, but you do have a little bit of control here. I have 5 questions to choose from. You just choose a number between 1 and 5, and I'll ask you that question.
We'll go with 3.
Number 3, Shane, if the color yellow had a smell, what do you think it would smell like?
I think it would smell like a lemon.
Really? There you go.
Yeah.
Is that instantly pops in your head? You think yellow? It's like, yeah, why not a lemon? I mean, because lemon's
banana
completely yellow.
And lemon. So that was the first 2 things that popped in my mind. Why would it be fruit? Or I don't know. Is a lemon considered a fruit?
It's citrus, right?
Citrus, yeah. So citrus.
So, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on a tree.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's on a tree.
That's a good answer. Yeah. See, that wasn't so bad, was it?
No, that was actually pretty good.
Wasn't so bad at all. Ralph, what about you? What do you think of?
I'm not even going to go there with this because I have dogs.
Okay. So not lemony fresh. That's what we're talking about there. But I would think that too. Yellow would be like a lemon, right? It would be something a little strong, something that would really hit the senses. You would know that that's yellow.
Recognize immediately.
That's right. I like that.
Well, I recognize mine immediately.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be today's episode. We appreciate and thank Shane Thompson, our special guest. Shane, thanks for being here today with us. No problem.
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys. Be sure to tune in and find all our episodes where you get your episodes, your podcasts, and watch us on our YouTube channel. Until the next episode, for my co-host Ralph Score, I'm your co-host Bob Dahlstrom. Thanks again for tuning in to Valley's Bits, Bites, and Banter. We'll see you soon.